So this person who is talking about her nephew again, are you beginning to see how acceptance is the answer for her? The answer is not stepping outside of her circle in the sand, forcing her opinions and forcing insight and knowledge on her sister and these sorts of things, forcing advice upon them and stuff like that. It's acceptance. Acceptance. It's unloading this sense of responsibility that never belonged to you at all. It doesn't mean you don't care any longer. It just means that you recognize it's not your responsibility. It's not your responsibility. You have no authority there. So you're unloading it. When we see people we care about suffering, it's not that we don't have feelings as far as that goes. You know, that we don't feel sad about that. Just the natural unhealthy results of that. It's not that we don't feel. It's that we keep ourselves in check. That it just is what it is. You know, everybody's favorite term in the whole world. I think I told you guys the reason why I hate that term so much is because when I was an interpreter, one of the doctors diagnosed a guy with cancer that I was an interpreter for, a Mexican guy. Basically told him he just had weeks to live. And didn't follow it up with any kind of expressions of compassion or anything like that. The guy was just standing there in total shock. And the doctor turned around and coldly said to him, look, it just is what it is. Like, you're not going to be here 6 weeks from now, and it just is what it is. He went back to scribbling on his clipboard or whatever, and I had to interpret that. So it's not something I just toss around freely when I say that expression. It just is what it is. But when we're talking about acceptance, it is just what it is, right? It's your ability to look at a thing and recognize it. It just is what it is. I don't agree with my nephew growing up with these sorts of attitudes and this sort of emotional education. But at the same time, it's not my responsibility. It's not under my authority to do anything about it. So I got to let it go. Do I have to like it? No, I don't have to like it. I just have to recognize that the situation, it just is what it is. Only people who maintain this focus and respect for the law of individual inherent rights, responsibility, and authority get anything done. That's probably the takeaway point of today's show. Only people who recognize, respect, and work in harmony with the law of individual inherent rights, responsibility, and authority in this respect get anything done. How is that? It's because just because you don't recognize that you are powerless to a thing, just because you don't recognize that you're powerless in a certain situation, does not mean you aren't powerless in a certain situation. Think about that. Just because you don't recognize, respect, and value your powerlessness in a situation does not mean you're not still powerless in that situation. You are. Because when we're talking about you being powerless, this is not just a perception. We're talking about things you truly are powerless to. Now you think about a man. In the past we used the example of a man going out screaming at the weather. Just because he can't perceive that he has no power over the weather does not give him any more power over the weather. So what does it mean that he's going out and screaming at the weather? It means he's wasting his time. Do you want to be somebody who wastes her time or his time pointlessly? Would you rather be somebody who harnesses your energy and power into directions where it can actually have an effect? That's what we're talking about. We're talking about not wasting your time and energy and efforts on things where it's just time and energy and effort going out the window. It can't have an effect. You caring more about it cannot give you more control or power over this thing. So it's just a total waste. Your attention and energy in these sorts of situations where you're looking at your nephew or you're looking at somebody else's kids or you're looking at the kids in the Walmart and you're saying, boy, that's an injustice. That's an injustice that those kids are going to be raised with those sorts of attitudes. You're allowed to feel how you feel about it. But it has to stop there. How can you make it stop there? Acceptance. Acceptance. If you want to start a channel like this, if you want to start a podcast, if you want to start a video channel where you present information and allow whoever wants to take advantage of it to take advantage of it, you can do that. What you cannot do is force your opinion upon other people. Force what you know upon other people. Force your way of life upon other people. You can't do that. It's a total waste of time to even try.